And when the music stops, I guess that means you're supposed to be ready to go, but I might be still trying to not be a hoe and share the show. So we got a one, and that's all we got tonight, folks, because Mr. Dan is out sick. So hopefully Mr. Dan's hanging out in the live chat down below so he can tell me if the microphone's coming in good, not coming in too hot, too quiet, coming in, just right. Or, whoever else is in the live chat, let me know if the video and the audio is coming in okay, because we're just a bit of a run gun show here, do the work throughout the week, post some things that you find interesting on the alternate news feed, and then we show back up here every Monday night to do the show. But in Dan's place, it was very, very nice. This just in breaking news. We've got Mr. Cardboard Trump himself on the show tonight, folks. Thank you. Hello, everybody. I am Cardboard Trump. I am very happy and very honored to be on the TrutherCast live show tonight. Thank you very much, folks. Yeah, that's very good, Mr. Cardboard Trump. Thank you. But if you're not familiar with this show, it is a welcome back to the TrutherCast, home of the TrutherCast, and we are here to take your truth order. Tonight it's just a me, but every other show we usually have Mr. Dan here as the co-host in chief with the ranting and the raving. Tonight I might have to fill in on that one, but we are attempting just not to be, another guy on here on the internet bitching and moaning and complaining and blackpilling and making everybody angry about shit going on. I attempt to bring some funny to the show or, a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, as though we were winning this kind of, the culture war that's going on. Wilkins saying in the live chat, thanks for the sound check. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Jeremy, this is live. You can. Oh, sorry. It's 8 o'clock and my Trump clock's telling me that we will make America great again. Yes, Mr. Jeremy, you can sound off down below in that live chat there, and I can live respond to things. So I love to hear what everybody thinks about last week that needs a little bit more awareness, because here at the TrutherCast, we believe that awareness brings realization, folks. Just like we'll be talking about Mr. Tyler Oliveira's latest expose covering a small, quaint little town of Hasidic Jews and Mexicans primarily. That's about it. Spoiler alert, the Mexicans do all the work. So we'll get into that one here in a little bit, folks, and try not to lose our shit about more of our taxpayer money going to fund people's socialistic lives, as they don't work as much as you maybe. But the expose is great because awareness and realization, yada, yada. But yeah, if you were a frequent flyer like the Wilkins Sane, or maybe when Shirley shows up in here in the chat, I thank you very much for taking the time to hang out with me and, spend your Monday nights figuring out what's going on the alt news feed, because, here at the TrutherCast, I very much believe that the way to find out about all this bullshit, folks, if you're into it, at least minimally, is to build yourself a better news feed. So if you're here, you might have an okay news feed, you might have a dope news feed, but you can always build a better one. So I like to go through the things I posted throughout the week and highlight the fellow citizen journalists, the ones we look up to, independent journalist kind of networks, your Tim Pools, your Benny Johnsons, who are now like getting a lot of Fox coverage, which is interesting. The old millennials have become an adult in the world of independent news. Just, talking ish on a camera has finally hit mainstream, to where Fox is actually just having these guys on as an interview because they break the news too, like they're doing breaking news too. But like to help you, follow these fine folks so you can build yourself a better news feed. And then, maybe you find something and you, post it on the locals community throughout the week, or maybe the Mass Stash of Insights Facebook. And then I'll cover it here on the show, folks, because one way to help me keep the lights on around here, is to join that locals community. It's down below. It's like somewhere right about there. It's a red little button, says join on it. You click that thing, and the locals community, the locals website is kind of nice. It does try to push you into paying me money, but you don't have to. You click the join, you can log in, and you can get free views, just like the old free smells. You can get free views over at the locals community. It's, not censored by big tech. It's a little bit more of a semi-private community, and I would only be the one who is censoring. So, if somebody says something offhand, I could get rid of that, or, just not on topic, I could maybe get rid of that, but otherwise, you can join there for free and look along. But if you would like to comment on anything I post throughout the week, or post some of your own tidbits of findings so I can cover them here on the Monday Night Live, you can join the Truther Tribers Primo Squad for a very low cost. But if you are too frugal, or if you are, maybe just trying to save another little penny and you would still like to support, you could use a promo code there, and that's Better News Feed. So you could use that, save yourself a buck. But if you're super duper frugal, like, the Hasidic Jews of the community that Mr. Tyler Oliveira covered, we'll be getting into later here, or Mr. Dan, he's usually the one that takes this call out here. But if you're super frugal, you could also help support this show by simply not being a hoe and sharing the show. It's a great way to not be a hoe, but it's also a great way to help inform a friend, or just help support us. So send it out to somebody, a friend, a foe, a family member, or maybe somebody that's kind of in the middle. They're wavering. They're looking for a little bit of guidance. They're looking for somebody to help them build a better news feed. So share the show out to somebody, please. And if you haven't, hit that thumbs up button. It doesn't update good on my end, but, so far I only see my thumbs up, folks, and we're like 5 minutes in. Come on, hit the thumbs up for me. Tell that Rumble algorithm what's going on. If you're hanging out on the YouTube side of the Truther Tribe, go on and hit that one and tell the YouTube algorithm that maybe it should recommend the show to more than one person a week. I've been getting like one to three people a week on YouTube, but they don't like the alternate news information kind of show. So, that's going to happen. Over here on Rumble, we're doing good, but definitely hit that like button and share it out there for me. That goes a long way. This show is sponsored by me, the Revival Tech thingy, signup.toleratetech.com, blah, blah, blah. If you come here all the time, you know the spiel. If not, look in the description box. If you got a computer, hit that signup.toleratetech, and I can help protect your computer and save you a bunch of angry frustration problems and yada, yada. So check that out. That'll help the show stay going on and the lights staying on as well. That will always keep things going there. And, how awesome would it be to get, a like-minded tech guy that is also a fellow alternate newser, right? Oh, man. So over on the locals, you can pin 2 things. Very interesting. But yeah, we can go on and, hop on in here to the locals community. And unfortunately, it's not broken this week because I prepped the show a little bit, so I got it fixed ahead of time. Oh yeah. Okay, so maybe we'll come back to this one. We got a good comedic relief to come back to later after we're like pissed off or something. Yeah, this one's pretty good too. We've been going reverse chronological lately, because then you start with like the latest news that's more relevant. Or like, like somebody might click on to expect because it's fresher of news. But sometimes when it's a, bigger story, I got to go back. There should be a thumbs up button, Jeremy, like a thumbs up, thumbs down or something like that. Hit that sucker when you get a check there. But if you haven't heard yet, today, breaking news. If you're into this stuff, folks, you're going to die of laughter when you hear this. You'll never believe it. Don Lemon himself, a self-identified African-American man, may be getting criminally charged for violating the KKK Act. Yes, I'm speaking correctly. The KKK Act. So right here, we've got good friend of the show calling out another good friend of the show. We've got independent journalist inception here, folks, okay? So I want to make sure that you follow Mr. Tim Pool over on the YouTube or the Rumbles. If you're here on the Rumbles, follow him on the Rumbles, folks. They're the, less censorship or little to no censorship, more free speech platform, and that's why our home is here on the Rumble. But follow Mr. Timcast, and then Mr. Benny Johnson's a good one to follow, right? But Tim, right here, as he says, usually doesn't cover other people because, like he's his own big platform. But hey, man, Mr. Benny broke the story on this one. Let's check it out.
We've got a massive update to the story I did this morning. Shout out to the Benny Johnson Show interview with Harmeet Dillon, where they're confirming Don Lemon will face charges under potentially the KKK Act and maybe the FACE Act. Now, I want to show you a little bit from Benny and Harmeet's conversation. I'm not one to normally pull up someone else's show with breaking news this quickly or in this way. But Benny Johnson with an absolute massive story in his interview with Harmeet Dillon, saying DOJ announces intention to charge Don Lemon under the KKK Act. The KKK Act makes it illegal to threaten, hurt, or intimidate people to prevent them from exercising their God-given rights. Harmeet Dillon saying the Klan Act is one of the most important federal civil rights statutes. It's a law that makes it illegal to terrorize and violate the civil rights of citizens. Now, there have been many comments made recently as the story develops around Don Lemon going into this church. I do want to pull up, there might be something I can pull up and add to this. Let me see if I can find.
Yeah, so if you didn't hear, over the weekend, a giant mob, which, like, in Minneapolis right now, folks, I don't know if you've seen this shit, bro. It is popping off like full mob action, absolutely bonkers. Just more and more absolute crazy shit. And, some of it, man, I don't think it's like my show newsworthy and shit like that. So if you're really into this shit and you want the, like, up to date, follow me at Mastache, 3 S's in a row, 4 in the whole word. You can just go to the TrutherCast website and, click the X link. But follow me at Mastache on the X, and I'd be posting a lot more, like real noisy throughout the week. But this one dude, I don't even know who the hell he is. He was like Jake something. He got like pulled. He was out there. He's like some Christian patriot kind of guy, and he got pulled into this giant mob and then beat up and stabbed. And then finally, one of the sane mobbies, one of the same mobsters, right? Was like, hey, bro, hold on. Like, kind of helped him out and was like, bro, just leave, bro. Just get out of here. Hey, leave him alone. Let him get out of here. Because he probably didn't want to, like, be associated with like attempted murder or like full murder. Like, I'm sure he didn't want to be any part of that. My God. But they did that one and a bunch of other shits going down, right? So this one is a bifurcation of the crazy group of radical extreme leftists and general anarchists just looking for an opportunity to be a shit stirrer, kind of broke into this church and caused a scene. But Don Lemon, being a washed up leftist, brainwashed, not very talented loser, is trying to grasp onto keeping a show because it's the only thing he knows how to do, folks. But what does suck about Don Lemon's new show is he doesn't really know how to like do journalism. He really only like learned how to like read script, right? Like, famously or infamously, Mr. Don Lemon was that CNN anchor. All he would do is kind of regurgitate script, right? Maybe throw a little idea in of his own once in a while, but he is no pro at talking, as you'll see in this clip. But this wizard decided he was going to go guy on the street. I would only imagine since he was jealous AF from seeing Nick Shirley blow up over the Somali expose with Mr. David's investigative research over 9 years, exposing all that fraud in the Minneapolis Somali community, which I believe, man, I'm hearing all sorts of crazy numbers. I believe now it's upwards of $500 billion, right? What are you guys hearing in the live chat down there? Oh, Mr. Tyler is showing up, man. What's up, Mr. Tyler? Thank you for showing on up here today. Hope you're having a good one. He says, Mr. Don Lemon is having a slow, steady meltdown, likely to end abruptly. Yeah, bro, that's what we thought the last few times, right? Like, how about when he interviewed Elon Musk and Elon was trying to give him a shot because he was like, hey, why don't you put me on as like a, paid, little bit paid to like, pimp the X, platform and stuff. And then he did that interview with Elon and he was like 25% into the interview. Elon was like, oh yeah, this is not going well. And then, Mr. Don didn't get a special promo spot on the X there. I thought he was going to melt down and run away after that one. Tyler said also, he's definitely not a Christian, as he says to the pastor. He's a known atheist. I have heard that he may actually subscribe to gaytheism. So he could be one of those, modern Christians or something. So he claims Jesus, but doesn't really practice it much at all, right? But yeah, here in the clip, he does claim to be a Christian. What up, Trolley? How is the Trolley doing today? Yeah, Jake Lang, man. Yeah, that is the guy. You said I prefer Jake Lang? So, like, you prefer it because you're a douchebag and you like that Jake Lang was physically harmed by the handicapped people that are exacerbatedly rioting right now that aren't really solving anything? And like, what are they rioting for? They're like George Floyding all over again. For what, dude? Are they George Floyding over the Somali shit or the ICE woman that tried to run over, an ICE agent? Like I'm confused, right? Yeah. Shirley is going to be a waste of time tonight, it seems. Let's check out Mr. Don Lemon here.
Surprised to see the community coming together. Diverse community. If you see this, when we first pulled up, we're like, wait a minute, which operation are we at? And as it turns out, because we're like, well, this is kind of MAGA coded, right? So the American flag or whatever, but these are resistance protesters. They're planning an operation that we're going to follow them on.
I can't believe we're at a time where people say shit like MAGA coded. So what the F does that mean? It doesn't mean anything because, as he describes, he's like, I'm confused. I saw an American flag and I thought MAGA coded, but it turns out they're leftist rioters that happen to bring a patriotic flag because we're in the country. So, how can you associate the flag with MAGA coded, or what does MAGA coded mean? Like, are you handicapped?
I can't tell you exactly what they're doing, but it's called Operation Pull Up. And it's Sakima Armstrong, and she has been doing this since George Floyd, Dante Wright, and others, where they surprise people, catch them off guard, and hold them to account. And so that's what we're doing here. And then after we do this operation, you'll see it live. And these operations are surprise operations. Again, I can't tell you where they're going.
Surprise operations.
So since Don literally made a video ahead of time saying what was all going to happen and that he like knew things that he couldn't say, it shows that he like knew ahead of time they was going to bust into this church. So yada, yada, yada. You know, this could be a nothing burger, but entertaining headline. Don Lemon might get charged for the KKK Klan Act, right? And I think it would be poetic justice if he were actually charged, because the guy has been a divisive puppet, you know, spreading absolute garbage rhetoric on CNN for years. And the dude is completely disingenuous and, you know, not a big fan. So I would be slightly entertained by seeing that he justly was, you know, prosecuted of a crime that he committed. You know, so I don't wish, you know, ill harm on him or prosecution for absolutely no silly reason. You know, then I'd be a leftist like Shirley in the chat just talking crap, right? But, you know, other than that, support which guy, Trolley? Why are you talking about all the like crazy ding dong stuff again? Like, what's the download, bro? What's the download this week, man? Just coming in here laughing about Jake Lang. Is that the download? I'm confused. Yeah, benevolent. I can say that a lot easier than Nick Shirley. Man, dude, Trolley, for being so stupid, you're really plugged in, man. So you watched Nick Shirley's update video where he had a little bit of a difficulty saying benevolent. That was funny. I was like, yeah, this Nick Shirley guy, you know, he don't talk well. So I don't know if he get nervous or, you know, maybe he's a little slow, bro. But, you know, he puts out good content. He's doing a public service, in my humble opinion. But similar to Mr. Nick Shirley, we've got this week Mr. Tyler Oliveira. So Mr. Tyler in the chat is probably a good fan of Mr. Tyler Oliveira. Great name, right? But this week he dropped his expose video on a tiny little town, you know, very quaint. I keep forgetting where this is. Is this like over in like the New York area? I forget where the hell this is. Yeah, New York town. Yeah, in New York, right? Of Hasidic Jewish people that seem a little bit, you know, how do you say, like ethnically unified, religiously unified. And, you know, it's a whole long form video, folks. So I highly recommend that you go follow Mr. Tyler Oliveira over on the YouTube. What is this? It's like a good 40-minute-er, right? But, you know, it was a bit of a slow week in my opinion. At least I didn't think there were two holy mollies we got to go over. I mean, you know, Mr. You know, President Donald Trump is going to drop the American healthcare plan that's going to finally put the end on Obamacare and potentially, let's be, you know, somewhat, you know, not one-sided bias and say potentially solve, you know, the entire healthcare problem and whatnot. But I'm excited. So far, pretty much everything this guy does is pretty solid. So I would imagine this American healthcare thing should be somewhat beneficial and good for us. Maybe it'll fix some of the ridiculous overpricing of the insurance market and whatnot, yada, yada. But, you know, I thought we could go over some highlights of this Tyler Oliveira documentary. And if you're into this, pull it up, give them the views, folks, and just throw this on sometime, maybe late night watching or just in the background doing some errands or, you know, chores around the house. But Mr. Tyler has got the new video here for us where it's exposing potential, I don't know if this one's fraudulent like the Somalis, but I would maybe say damn, what is the word? Just like an excessive use of our socialistic part of America with the Medicare system and, you know, the tax, the tax credits you get for kids, or, SNAP benefits and stuff like that, right? Like maybe just a little bit of like excessive use here, as the average children held by a household here in this, quaint little Hasidic Jewish town is around like 7 to 10, it seems, from him interviewing them. But I thought we'd run through a few highlights we got here.
Work for Hamas?
I don't want my kids should play in the house of a secular guy.
This is Curious Joel.
You're a
A village of 44,000 Hasidic Jews in upstate New York that primarily speak Yiddish have an average of 7 kids per family. How many kids do most people have out here?
17, 18.
How do they afford 17, 18 kids? It's one of the poorest towns in America, with 40% living beneath the federal poverty line. Many men here are religiously...
That news article said 40 to 70.
40% living beneath the federal...
That's a big jump. It's around like 40 to 70, and I guess the average in America is like 33% or something like that for a town, but 40 to 70.
Poverty line. Many men here are religiously studying the Torah full-time and heavily rely on public assistance and welfare in the form of Medicaid, housing vouchers, food stamps, and cash aid to support their giant families that God commanded them to have. And the village enforces strict gender roles, modest dress codes, and sends their kids to private religious schools. And why is it okay for Jewish people to live together in a homogenous Jew-only community, but it's illegal when white people try to build their own? I pulled up to Curious Joel myself to see what's going on. Welcome to Curious Joel, a traditional community of modesty and values. In keeping with our traditions and religious customs, we kindly ask that you dress and behave in a modest way while visiting our community. This includes wearing long skirts or pants, covered necklines, sleeves past the elbow, use appropriate language, maintain gender separation in all public areas. Thank you for respecting our values. Let's pop in here and say shalom. Lots of people praying. Hi, shalom. Okay, so it says entrance for members only. Not sure what it takes to be a member.
So he goes through like a few different places, but he does the old like, hey, let's try to talk to people and ask them questions on the street. And they're either not very interested to even talk at all, or all of a sudden they got to get somewhere. They don't have the time as soon as they're asked what they do for a living.
Kid.
If they want, they can have one. But if God's given them more, it's very proud.
Okay, shout out God.
Yes.
Okay.
We are very against the state of Israel. It's a very big problem for us.
So you guys don't approve of a state of Israel before the Messiah comes, right?
Yes. Zionism is not Judaism. It's a very other thing.
Question for you, sir. What do you do for work?
I thought that was interesting. I mean, call me ignorant, right? I had no idea that, I don't know what you classify this sect of, in this city, Hasidic Jews, but this group of Hasidic Jews don't believe in Israel. So figure that out. Support woo-woo Jewish state, and these Jewish people don't even do that. So very interesting.
Are you on the phone? Or are you listening to the radio? Okay. Damn, it's tough to get some answers out of folks. What do you do for work?
Nothing.
How do you make money?
My wife.
Your wife? What does she do for work?
What is this?
Interview. Good to meet you. For YouTube.
A little of this, a little of that. What they mean to say, folks, I believe, after watching this 40-minute interview, overall documentary thing, and several attempts at interviews here, I believe their answer is she makes babies. Because, they do give answers like, oh, she works in the school, or, oh, she teaches, or like, oh. But essentially, I feel like he doesn't have to work because she just makes babies and then takes care of them. And somehow that pays all the bills. I don't know, man.
So your wife works, and do you study the Torah?
Have a good day.
How many kids do you have?
Have a good day.
How many children do you have? Okay, thank you. Well, that was fascinating. Excuse me, do you study Torah?
Study that?
Torah?
No.
What do you do for work? Do you have a job? Does your wife work? Are you a student of the Torah?
Yes.
Do you work a job for money?
I?
Yeah.
No.
Does your wife?
Yes.
She does. Does your wife go to work to make money and you study Torah?
Where are you?
Tyler, good to meet you. I'm just doing a YouTube video about this place. I find it fascinating.
Last time I have to.
But where are you going if you don't work?
I study.
So you study. And does your wife work? What industry does she work in? Teaching, education,
Teaching.
children? And how do you afford the kids if you don't work? Your wife? Okay, thank you.
It's so funny, dude. Like one after another, when he talks to them and they start getting like weird, they start like lingering away, but then they're like something is like, but I'm curious why this man's talking to me. I don't even know if they're like suspicious of him or they're like, I kind of want to answer questions. It's like a human thing. I don't know, or something, but I don't think these questions will be good. They kind of like slowly slink away, but don't just like, oh, I'm out of here. I'm gonna bounce.
It's one of the most biggest growing towns, right? By percentage?
It's the biggest in the
Big families, too.
Big families, right?
How do people afford to have such big families out here?
It's. I don't say anything.
What do you mean?
And this guy, I kind of skipped a little bit. This guy knew Tyler Oliveira and said, "Oh, I like your YouTube documentaries, man. Oh, it's great." So they're like, he's like, you know, a little bit weirdly holding his hand along while he has this gentleman who I'm sure is nice, but maybe handicapped, you know, holding on to his arm here, in a slightly awkward situation, and then can't even answer these questions though.
How do they have such big families?
We believe in God, that
Believe in God?
created that.
Okay. Hey, thanks for saying hi, my friend.
I don't know who you are.
My name's Tyler Oliveira.
I don't talk to the suspicious persons.
How am I suspicious?
I don't know who you are.
Damn, ouch.
Because he ain't got curls on the side of his head. I'd say that's what makes this guy suspicious.
Ouch, that hurt my feelings. Do you study Torah? Or do
This
you...
is also an example of how you can be a white man in a white community and still stick out like a sore thumb.
You work a job or own business?
Everybody here works a job.
Well, that's not true. What's up?
They have Torah and they work.
That's not true. That's a lie. That's not true.
A suspicious person.
That's not true. I've talked to people. They said some of them just study the Torah. They told me themselves.
Well,
So who's the liar? Oh, I understand that. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I don't know who you are.
I'm just asking questions. How many children do you have?
You work for Hamas?
What? I'm a journalist. I'm just exploring.
I don't know.
YouTube vlog.
You work for the Hamas that's infiltrating our town over here. What? Like, here's a guy that works for this. He's got like a business or something. They all sell food apparently. Just slanging kosher food to keep everyone fed and alive is a good enough job.
There we go. So you got to answer this puzzle for me then. What do people do for work out here?
We do construction, we do everything.
Do people spend hours praying in the synagogue and then they work afterwards?
Yeah.
Do the women raise the kids and that's all they do, or do they work as well?
They work as well. The men also raise their kids.
Wow.
We just don't bother nobody. Whatever a normal people is doing,
Yeah.
we're doing.
Okay.
But we're doing it mostly in the kosher way. Instead of selling to general supermarkets.
I see.
For example, I'm in the kosher food. I sell for kosher supermarkets.
What I'm hearing is they'll gladly take money out of the American tax base to support their lifestyle, and if they do start a business, it'll most likely accommodate and service Jews.
We don't bother nobody. We don't kill.
This is true. No violence out here.
No violence.
No drugs.
No drugs. No stealing. No thing. No nothing.
I've only seen bad drivers, though.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because we have so much. We have like 10 children. We're all too busy. That's why we were upset by driving. We're getting nervous. That's the biggest violence you'll find by us. One day a year, it's called Purim. That
party.
We dance, people getting drunk. And the biggest good thing about that we're giving donations for other people.
Oh, that's right.
Do you know how much money goes out in this village?
I'm gonna guess millions.
Millions?
Yeah.
And that's without being so polite, keeping open the doors. That's a thing on
Gentile behavior.
Yeah, right. No, not Gentile. It's
goy
but
behavior.
you're not going, I can see.
I'm goyim.
No, you're not going. You're a Yid. Going back, you're a Yiddish kid.
Okay.
Are you a Yid?
I'm goyim.
Can you show me your license?
I know that you guys don't support Zionism, or you guys don't support the Jewish state until the Messiah is here, right?
Exactly. They are not the Jewish people. They are not us, and we are not them. They are not Jewish at all. The state of Israel.
Man, little groups of people and our like that everything's got to be so complicated. Not even these Jewish Americans claim the Israeli Jewish is so, like, nobody wants to broadly get along and say we're all the same, right?
It's a secular state, same as Japanese, but they call themselves Jewish people. They don't obey no laws. They're taking out kids from the yeshiva, sending them to draft to army to fight Hamas, which they create the problem. If they would listen to the Torah, the whole war wouldn't be.
How do people afford to have so many kids here?
They don't afford. We help each other. We open 2 groceries called Maitiv. We're giving them 50% discount. Just giving you one example.
Yeah, I could get a discount too?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like 50% discount is still money. Where you get the money? Like at all.
Because the store is officially made for everybody.
The one thing I am curious about, though, is the welfare.
He said officially. Officially, it's for everybody because, like, American discrimination laws. But
both the federal or whatever the state, they're both spending equal money for other people. The only difference is over here, the money is being spent for us in our mouth to eat, and in Bronx, it's being spent for the NYPD to fight.
Are you on welfare?
No.
Do you know anyone on welfare here?
I won't comment on that question.
Come on.
How should I answer?
You own a shop. You own a supermarket, basically. So you would know. Give me a rough estimate if you can.
No.
Why not?
I'm not.
Why?
I'm not gonna comment.
Why?
I have to go.
Why is that the stickler?
Because I can't answer you a simple.
You can give me a rough estimate, though. Just ballpark.
maybe I don't want to like tell other people's business. It's being polite, right?
What do you think? And I'm
gonna guess 33%.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's probably about on average. Throughout the U.S. That's not terrible.
Exactly.
I'm just trying to figure out how people afford to raise 10.
Tell me in the live chat. What? In your life experience, what does it mean when somebody's voice gets really high like that? How about you? I know what it means for me. I know what it means in my life experience, but for you, what does it mean when people's voice get like, yeah, totally, for sure. Yeah, most stuff,
Okay, teaching, school, construction. What percentage of people do you think are on like welfare, Medicaid? A lot?
Yeah, a lot of people. Big people.
Okay. What do they do?
What I do?
Yeah, what do you do for work?
I'm a student.
Student? Okay, how old are you?
It's very late to me.
I see. Thank you. Would you like to be interviewed?
Why do they get weird though, dude? Like if you don't work, you just be like, oh, I don't work.
I know can professional English, so
you speak English.
Like they know it's weird and or maybe bad that they don't work. Like I don't know, kind of weird, man.
I have a lot of opinions.
Do you think they should?
As I told you, you have to sit down with me.
Oh man, you're a complicated guy. Could I buy a house there? Would they let me?
legally, I think you.
Legally, I could, but they wouldn't, right?
It's a good question. How they will deal with that?
Good question.
Why is everyone so busy? Back to the video.
No, speak English.
None?
No.
As I was going around, my drone captured the most dangerous people in the city, bad drivers. But real quick, the sponsor of this video pulled out once they learned what the topic was. So if you want to support the channel, get access to these videos early, and watch never before seen content I can't upload on YouTube, go subscribe to my Patreon at patreon.com/Tyler Oliveira for $5 a month. Back to the video.
Go sign up and support the Tyler Oliveira folks if you're into this, if you like the guy's content and you like the exposés of a couple weeks ago we covered he was exposing these like tourist scammers like over in it was like Brazil and stuff like that. Very, very, very interesting and entertaining stuff, man. So go support the guy if you like. If you got a couple extras.
If you want, I can give you.
Hi, sir. He said that he gave me 5.
Okay, so this one was the more comedic part of it, right? This was like if you made a cartoon, like a South Park episode. This might be it.
$500.
Go check it out.
You can call the police. They'll make a police report.
It doesn't pay.
$500 for that? Come on, man.
At least you give me $2,000.
I don't have
I'm going to give you
$2,000.
change.
I don't have $2,000.
Oh, if it were me, I would just call the police, get the police report, and handle it through his insurance.
Okay. So
That's some damage right there. $2,000-$3,000 worth is my guess. And just for context, do you live here?
I'm not living here.
You work here? Okay. Wow, look at this, another accident! Oh my God! That's just it. They cannot fucking drive out here. There's a car accident here. They're trying to go outside of insurance. It's a phenomenal style of driving out here that leads to quite a few cars.
So the guy's like, oh, why would you call the cops? It doesn't pay, you know? You're like, why would you want to do that? And he was like, yo, I don't got $2,000. And like the cop shows up and he's like, all right, I'll pay you $2,000. Can we just like, let's just get on with it? Like,
9, 10 plus kids per family out here. All of these strollers and little kid bikes. Another one. Tons of kids. And then a school bus for those kids. New construction over there. More houses being built. Foundation being laid. Some of these houses are quite nice. I imagine there are massive families inside them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Wheeled toys for the kids. Can I ask you, how large is your family?
1.
And do most families have, how many kids do they have? Most families?
5, 10.
5, 10? How do they pay for that many kids? You don't know? What is your job?
The Bible.
You read the Bible?
It's very late for me.
For the kids?
yeah.
What is your job? Like,
Yeah,
what do you
keep
do to
going.
make money?
My wife is working.
Okay, your wife works?
We have no time.
What do you do for work? Okay, all right, busy man. Thank you.
I'm a family of 6,
Okay, nice.
and I do handiwork.
Okay. Do most people out here work?
As far as I know, yeah.
Okay. What percentage of this whole town is children? Maybe like half?
No, more than that.
More than half.
Yeah, because if you can have like 15 children in a family, automatically it's much more than half.
And last question for you. Are most families out here on any form of welfare, like Section 8, SNAP, Medicaid, housing assistance?
Most families?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say so, not as far as I know.
Are you?
I have Medicaid, but
Okay.
I have my own business and I make my money fair and square.
Respect. Okay, we got the Crown Sterling right here.
most def, bro. And we don't know if there's anything funny or fraudulent going on here, but this one was good. Like when the community is so tight knit and you all look the same, you talk the same, and you believe in the same God, you can do cool, nice things. So apparently this is a complete 100% volunteer, firehouse that I believe is probably funded by the taxpayers in the city, as well as this AAA like service. So it's not AAA; it's just like a city benefit. And so, like, you can just call the city and they'll show up and change your tire for you or some shit. Very interesting.
You can do cool shit like that. We're at the Curious Show of Volunteer EMS. You gotta give respect to all these guys doing volunteer work for the community. Can I pop in?
Sure.
Okay.
And here you go. Here's the foot bag.
Yeah, what are some other highlights? Yeah, this one was weird. There's like 100 school buses, but then they got weird when he asked who owned them. Like, yeah, and then he talked to a Mexican dude doing construction, and he was like, yo, did the Jews ever work? And the guy was like, not really. It's like all Hispanics.
And then the secondary question is, do they work?
Yes, I work here.
I know, but do the people that live here work
Yeah,
here?
my work is for the people that live here.
Okay, so that's what I've heard. A lot of business owners.
Yeah.
Heard some people do study the Torah for a couple years.
They do that many times.
Their wives are working. That's what I've learned
Many
too.
times too.
And a synagogue around every street's corner so the men could study the Torah while their wives went out and worked. People are studying, praying. Beautiful. Wow. Okay, I think I finally made it.
Who's to say anything's wrong about this, I guess, right? This is perhaps some older way of life where the family's devoted to this study of God, so the men just study the book of God all day, and then the women just take care of a nut job house of 5 to 15 children. It's basically just a little old school, I guess, right? Like, maybe there's nothing wrong with it necessarily, but I don't know about tax money funding all of this. It's very socialistic. And, makes you kind of wonder, why did I choose to work my ass off? Why aren't I in some ethnically unified city that has magical abilities for the men to all just study the Torah all day and not have any calluses on their hands, right?
Okay, do people here survive off of welfare?
Not true.
It's not true.
No. Everyone have to work. You have to get money. But
Yeah.
when you have a lot of kids, like you have 8 kids, you can also get benefits like...
I see. Like the official number for like Medicaid, and it was like 93%. That number is not real.
You can look it up. It's not 93%.
It will say 93%.
Yeah, check it up now.
But I've already looked it up. I know what it'll say. Yeah, it'll say 93%.
Where does it say?
On Google. I don't know if that's
Bro, this guy was reading the Bible book. He ain't never looked up anything on the internet.
real, though. That's why I'm asking. Yeah.
I don't know, because I know a lot of people and most people have a lot of kids, and even if they work,
they're
qualified.
They qualify. Yeah. Okay, we got some knowledge just now. He says there's some misconceptions about the place. Is this where you make the iconic fur hats? Hey, let's see it. Can I try it on? Okay. Thank you. Whoa. It's heavy. And it spins too. For $1,500 USD at the cheapest price. Thank you guys for showing me. 8K? $8,000?
Yes.
My God. As I was interviewing people, this.
If it's $8,000, where do they get the $8,000 from, man?
This dude tried to revoke my cameraman's First Amendment right to film him on a public sidewalk. It is a struggle getting B-roll out here.
Hey, it's illegal. It isn't. What? It isn't.
Hello.
Howdy.
What is the pictures about?
Just feel like filming.
Filming what?
Just everything.
What do you mean everything?
Why are you recording here? Because I feel like it.
Why?
Because I feel like it.
For whom are you recording it?
Because I feel like it.
And where will you post it?
I don't know, wherever my heart desires.
You took pictures of me personally.
I'm happy.
And
You look beautiful.
I want to know where you're going to post it.
Everywhere.
Because I don't want to be...
I'm sorry. You walked into my shot, so...
No. I was before across the street and you
It's
pointed
okay.
the camera on me.
It's not a big deal. You in public.
And then we began debating as to...
These homies with their flip phones kill me. It's a kosher cell phone, too. It's a kosher flip phone. That's wild.
whether or not Curious Joel took out more money from the system than it gave back.
Why do you think that most people have your welfare?
The more kids you have, the more money you'd get if you're in those programs.
It's not because people are defrauding. When you have larger families, you're automatically, you can qualify in a bigger percentage.
100%.
Take out statistic and say, oh, this person has 6 kids. Look how much grants they receive from the government. But if you look at their expenses, then you see it's a different ball game. It just gives you, helps you to survive. It pushes through. How much money Curious Joel community saves for the state and the federal government by the fact that we have private schools. Maybe we have big business.
Yes, Curious Joel's private schools receive significant public funding, primarily through the local Curious Joel School District, which uses tax dollars and federal funds for services like special education, busing, supplies, shared with private school students, blah, blah, blah.
People that pay taxes and they contribute a lot. We have a lot of charity that's helping out people.
Like, pay what taxes, bro? How do they pay the taxes? Like, this is definitely one of those things where it seems a little bit like they circle words, you know? And then what's interesting, like, you can make, haha jokes, whether, true or not, haha. What is the average IQ of the Somali community comparative to a Hasidic Jew community here of, how do you say it? I can't remember how to say it. It's like Curious Joel. Haha, what's the IQ difference here? Well, whatever that delta is, the Somalis are doing things that technically are legal, but then doing it fraudulently, which makes it illegal, right? Like, hey, I'm going to get these daycare, subsidies or, this federal funding or, the elderly care and whatnot. But then they didn't follow through with the service, which makes it fraudulent, right? It seems like, the Hasidic Jew community here is simply utilizing the tax code, which is a ha-ha stereotype, right? Like, the Jewish community is very frugal and, money-wise is, the ha-ha stereotype. Every Jew is just a money genius. Oh, they own everything and ha-ha-ha. So, maybe they're like totally above board, but hot damn, they milking the system. So I think that's kind of interesting, right?
And my landlord 1 year increased me the rent because the tax went up. How can he afford it? Because I pay him rent.
Well, yeah, you're arguing the cost is indirectly turned over to you as the renter.
It's directly.
Let's say I had 10 kids and I made between 60 to 90K a year as a household. Then I could get almost $13,000 in cash benefits and pay no state income tax and no federal tax. So I would get $13,000 in cash, which I could then pay to, let's say, a landlord. Let's call it $2,000. That's half the year paid.
Don't get the tax credit per child. You
do though.
Tax credit, but once you have 3 or 4 children, you don't get more if you have more children.
That's not true. The tax credit is multiplied by how many children you have, and there's no limit to the children you can have.
It's a formula. And you take into account that someone has 13 kids, and they pay tuition, they pay grocery, they feed their children, and they have...
I'm arguing a lot of the taxpayers are paying for their children in the form of SNAP.
Yeah, like he just keeps saying like, yeah, they get the kids and then they pay for the things, you know? Like, yeah, but like how? Like that's the question.
EBT and healthcare in the form of Medicaid.
I got it, and I want to answer you.
Yeah.
Now, you make this budget, figure out how much this costs, and now you say that you call a cash benefit a tax return of benefit of $13,000.
Got a child tax credits in New York infographic. New York State Empire State credit, $1,000 per child under age 4. $130 per child age 4 to 16. And then federal child tax credit up to $2,200 per child under 17. So that is a grand total of $3,530 total tax credits per kid. I'm taking that, right?
This doesn't cover 10 children. It's just a help.
But when you supplement...
$3,300 times 10 kids, like all of a sudden that's kind of a serious number, right? 15 kids, even more of a serious number.
That with the healthcare is covered via Medicaid. You have SNAP and EBT that helps cover groceries, if not the full amount for the groceries.
Have SNAP. The SNAP maybe would give $1,000 a month for a family. But you go in the grocery, check the prices. You can't afford. You can't feed 10 people plus a father and mother, 12 people from $1,000 a month. So it's just a push.
But you can if you go to that grocery store that said they give 50% off to people in need because something community. And again, maybe this is just like one of the greatest, communities ever, and they're just really awesome, and they're just all very close knit and making everything function, and their form of micro socialism is very, genuine.
Like it's a help. It's not covering.
That's true.
So, and also, me personally, I told you I'm working in the healthcare industry.
Yeah.
I don't have Medicaid. I have insurance by my employer.
Agreed.
If you take all business people, successful business people, just from Kiddus Joel, their taxes covers everything that we take back. There's someone, Kiva Klein. He's a big developer. I'm sure he pays a lot of taxes. You see over there.
I'm sure he does. It's like totally assumption. But very interesting.
Mask stays on,
Get it. You know what I mean? I just got called here, so I got to come by and
for sure
do my due diligence. You know what
100%,
I mean?
sir.
Okay. So what are you recording for?
Just personal stuff.
I got you. It's public, so I know you can.
If you've never been to a community like this, right?
Sure.
You're unknown.
Sure.
Unusual activity. Suspicious for you to have a camera at people's faces wherever they go.
You guys are going to be upset that they're here, right? And you guys are going to call us over here. Just don't engage with them. You know what I mean? If that's what you guys
no one's forced to get...
Some people are going to get upset that they're here.
Well, welcome to the United States of America.
I don't want to get...
This is the United States of America. Then just walk away. Just walk away. Jesus Christ. This is some bullshit, you know it. You don't get extra privileges. No. This is bullshit, you know it.
Yeah, they're going to be upset and calling about you guys. And you guys don't want us harassing you.
Well, why would you harass us if we're exercising our First Amendment, right?
Because you follow people.
Exactly. It's a rhetorical question. There's no means to harass us if we're doing nothing wrong.
No. Okay. There was a terrorist attack in Israeli Sunday. You come in front of synagogues with a covered face. People.
I didn't. I get the face.
No, I'm answering his question, but he didn't ask you the question. Right? He was talking to me right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
What I told you too.
Sure.
Was if you guys are going to call about each other and have these kind of interactions, right? No, we had to find conversations. Leave each other alone.
All right, this is excessive. Obviously, we can talk to anyone who wants to talk. So this is the equivalent of a doctor come in here, get yourself checked out.
Very, very interesting, folks. But go ahead and give the Mr. Tyler Oliveira, go ahead and give him the the likey, the watchy, and the follow if you haven't already, man, so you can see his next one. If you don't recall, he did a pretty funny one with a small town in India where they worship the cow so much that they have a day of cow poop. It was pretty entertaining. So check that Tyler Oliveira guy out on the YouTubes, folks. What do we got next here? Oh, we got one from Mr. Staying Home Sick today, Mr. Dinosaur himself. He said, I think Trump must have switched to regular Coke over diet. Usually Mr. Dan is posting comedic reliefs here, so I would imagine that's what we should be expecting. I hate how Instagram sucks and you don't got a scrub bar, so I got to refresh the vidya and then hit the audio.
I shouldn't have called on this nigga. I shouldn't have called on you because you always trying to distract motherfuckers with things like the war and skirt all the real issues. I'm focusing on other things, namely the moon. Yes, I said it, the moon. The United States of space, because I ain't stopping at the moon. Write this down. M-A-R-S, Mars, bitches. That's what we are going. Mars, Red Rocks. Yay, yay. Damn, I knew I shouldn't have called on this nigga.
That's a good one. That's an old Chappelle show. They like AI trumped over. That's pretty good. Okay, wait. We can get back to the first comedic relief real quick before we get back into a serious topic. This one's like a dash of serious, like little dash of serious. So somebody was genius. Oh, I'm gonna flip back anyway. Somebody was genius and equally hilarious. And they decided to have a competition between super tall, strong women and a band of brutally midget homies. A gaggle of little peoples. And okay, maybe let's put it in the live chat. If you're tuning in right now, hurry up. Put it in the live chat. I'll wait a little bit. I know there's like a little bit of lag. Sound off in the live chat down below. Who do you think wins between the band of little dude guys and a bunch of tall jacked chicks? Is that guy really that short, or do they do like a haha, like camera trick here? Who do you think wins?
Female giants. And they are the world's strongest dwarves. And they'll be competing in strength competitions, all to find out who is stronger.
You're going down.
Yeah. No, you're going down.
Okay, so the world's strongest dwarves, because I guess that's a fair fight, right? Like they're like, a quarter of the size. There's no possible way they could be as strong, right?
Okay. Easy. Drive. 585 pounds on the bar. Am I clear? Yep.
Bro, he said 580 on the bar.
Good job, Zoe. Good job, Zoe. Two.
Come on, big dog.
One, go. Come on. Come on.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
All right. Next one.
You got this. Big one. You got this.
Come on, girl. Yo, Lorenzo's already at 4 plates right now. I think Brittany's stuck at 3.
Easy. Good. Pull. No. Nope. Hey, let's go. Move over.
Yeah.
Lorenzo's got it on his own. Nice. Emily decided to help Britt with her 315 deadlift. Emily and Brittany are going. I did not tell them they couldn't do this. We're going.
Dang, bro.
Go! Winners!
Giants versus dwarves, man. What a David and Goliath. But something genetics, right? That is absolutely scientifically hilarious, folks. So the dwarf men, the band of brother midgets, beat the giant Amazonian woman group. Interesting. Very, very interesting. This one, I just wanted to make sure y'all remembered to not forget that doctors received upwards to $6,000 per COVID shot. And, everything could be fake on the internet. So who the F knows at this point? I can't even watch a video sent from my girl without being like, but is this one AI? Shit, how do we figure it out, man? This woman, Mary Tally Bowden, MD, on the X, was noting that if she had vaccinated the 6,000 patients that she treated for COVID, she would have made a humble $35.5 million, not a big deal, right? But this lady probably came up in my newsfeed because I have tuned my algorithm like you should by following me on X at Mastache, 3 S's in a row and 4 in the whole word. Click the X link on the website, TrutherCast.com. But you teach your algorithm, folks, and then you get the shit that you actually like and somewhat aligned with. If you get stuff you don't like, you can also, hit the little 3 dots. Nowadays, it's 3 dots, right, to get like the little menu and then be like, I'm not interested in this. And that, negative teaches the algorithm to what not to put in your feed. But she was noting here that you could get $6,000 a person. That's bonkers. And this is like an alleged, or is this her like estimating it? This is an alleged Excel spreadsheet showing this concept here. Gross charge, $1,500, discounted cash, $75,500. I don't know. But yeah, when that was all popping, man, we were all telling people, hey, don't forget that the doctors are getting paid for this. Like, hey, they're making money off of it. So, grain of salt and yada, yada, yada. So a good reminder. It was a good reminder. The White House social media manager, absolutely crushing it. Absolutely bonkers seeing, the generation take over that kind of understands, social media and is a little bit sick of being a little bit too stuffy with, the upper echelons of professionalism like the White House. So I can definitely understand the critique of, needing to keep things like the White House social media accounts maybe a bit more professional, but God bless if it's not funny to, at minimum for a blink in time, have ridiculously awesome, ridiculous social media posts from the White House.
I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship. So,
but there were folks who will.
I have to take care of my flock.
Okay, but listen, we live in there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
Yeah. We're here to worship.
So it must have did the thing where it sends the wrong link. This one, I don't think this is the one I was thinking of.
We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me though.
We're here to worship Jesus. Yes. That's why we're here. Okay, that's why we're here. That's what we're about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding
we're about
and love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them?
Bro, I didn't even see that part of the Don Lemon thing. God bless. He got like all up in the pastor's face to try and like gotcha him or something. Wild. Wilkinson, wasn't that one that you sent me, that White House social media was banging? If you remember that one, pull that up for me. I think the link got broken there. That's not the right one. Well, shoot, man. Turns out Denmark might be into working a deal with the United States to take over Greenland. If you didn't hear this week, Greenland is kind of changing their tune, and they're thinking, actually, we might be okay with, Trump's admin in America, stepping foot a little bit more into Greenland and getting some kind of a military, lockdown of situation or having an outpost and whatnot. Oh, it was an Instagram link? Okay. So here, let's check this one out here. What? Is it 2 in a row? I got 2. 9 o'clock, folks. I love that stupid clock. 2 in a row, bro. What do you mean 2 in a row? Hold up. I'm gonna try and pull this.
No affiliation to that one.
Wilkinson's hot on the take. She got the link pulled up here for me, I believe. Where it go? I'll say message unavailable. Flip the screen. Is it just Instagram being annoying? Is that like what it is? Technical difficulty on the show. I wonder if I can just remember which one it is that you sent. I don't know. Which one was the one? Oh, is this it? Shit. Is this the one? How do you just open the damn thing? Yeah, it's this one. They said it's the Gasolina song, right? And it's like Somerset, Kentucky, $2.49, North Dakota, $2.06, Lewiston, Idaho, $2.58, Asheville, $2.35, Olathe, Kansas, $2.43, just South Denver, Colorado, $1.89. $1.89, god dang. Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember if this one was like a little bit like on the edge. But that's not on the edge at all. That's just like good modern social media, man. That's hilarious. Using the Gasolina song to be like, Trump's dropping all them gas prices, right? Like, oh dang. That was pretty damn good. That was good. Oh, you just reset it. Good look, Wilkinson. Hot on the take. Closest thing to a producer we got here, folks, other than me, myself, just running things. Okay. I mean, okay. We're a little bit squirreling, but this one was pretty funny. Wilkinson thought it was funny. This is a satire account. It's not the real guy, but it is in his character from the movie likeness. This one's covering the Somali stuff. So just because we're from Minnesota does not mean that we are dumb. He's got a few pieces of paper, like, when you like have the pieces of paper have your words that you're gonna say, and then you like take the front one off and you show them the next slide of papers, but he's actually just pulling the papers from the back. But he looks like Napoleon Dynamite, and it's funny. It's entertaining. I don't know what happened to that other one though that I had here. What was that? Yeah, the Denmark one, but that's the take. The take is that Denmark came out this week and said, hey, maybe Mr. Trump can make a deal here with us, and we'll allow their military presence to be over there in Greenland. The more I hear the arguments in America's side for being up there to try and make sure that China, Russia isn't up there, that at minimum I'm kind of sold on. But also to have a strategic attack point, perhaps, if necessary, I would agree with that too. Maybe when I was a young, slightly hippy-dippy liberal leaning type character and an anti-military industrial complex guy, I would have just been like, hard no. But, coincidentally, I just watched a random video this morning or last night or something. I think it was last night, trying to get sleepy and go to bed. of a what was it? It was like a Marines military combat trainer fighter guy. This karate guy I follow, he did a video with him. But one of the big takeaways for me was that there's no game that you can win. There's no situation or game that you can win in the entire game of life just playing all defense. Like, that's just not a thing. I couldn't think of something. If you can, put it in the live chat or the comments down below. But I couldn't think of one. So his point was you do need to be on the offensive. And so it's defensive, strike with the offensive, right? And, that goes for global, military type situations, man. So, we can't always just be on our back heels. We can't always just, think and assume and hope that these other countries are going to just, be nice and good and not attack us or not go to war or not be situationally placed to stop things that help us. So, the Venezuela thing, China gets 70% of their oil from Venezuela. If we cut that off, now we got something to leverage, negotiate with China with. They're going to be a hair weaker, maybe not as energized to fight us or worry about trying to maybe take over. Generally a good thing. So messing with Greenland and Venezuela seems like a pretty good idea, in my opinion, but definitely am a little bit biased. Yeah, man, it did hit me with that wrong link swap out thing, because the next one I got was the right thought for that post. We get footage of the hooligans out in Minneapolis, just mob rioting out there, ripping out weapons secure box of a federal agent's truck. Yeah. I'm pretty convinced we should probably just send in Marines and do a full insurrection act and just, Maduro extract walls and then continue a justified, judicious investigation to see if there are any crimes that Mr. Walls happened to break, maybe knowing about the fraud. But at minimum, the guy is guilty of negligence, because these riots are, full, George Floyd popping off, absolutely wild. The stupid Antifa riots popping off, during COVID and whatnot. It's full wild, folks. Like, people are just going nutty. So this one right here, man, was probably the nuttiest one we've seen. I mean, other than that Jake Lane guy getting, pulled off, beaten, and stabbed. These folks broke into a federal vehicle, put a tow rope around the guns safe or like secure box, ripped it out, broke it open, stole a Fed's rifle, and then they looted like the ammo and like the tourniquet and like other things that were in there. And that's bonkers. So like, and then they all did this on stream, bro. Like, that's crazy. Absolutely lawlessness, bonkers, crazy. Something needs to be done about this shit, bro. My whole life, I was like anti-martial law because all the deep state bad guys were going to do it. And then, some, black-pilled Trump people that are like, believe Trump's on the inside with the bad guys too. Maybe he's going to usher in the martial law, and I got duped into begging for it. And it was all part of the evil bad guy plan. Oh, no, who knows? But right now, I'm convinced martial law over in Minneapolis, dude. Like, maybe the entire Minnesota, but like, God bless, bro. This shit's got to get done, bro. The mayor guy, the Mayor Frey, he literally told the police to stand down. Like, nah, they're going crazy. Just let them tucker themselves out, Nah, bro, you got to call in backup, bro. If you call the police off because there's more looting, crazy rioter peoples than police, that's not a good answer, in my humble opinion. Like, this is what you need National Guard for. This is what you need Fed National Guard for. Is like, there's state National Guard, right? But like, this is why you need like, like backup called in from the state or from the effing Fed, bro. Like, I don't think we should be letting this shit continue, man. Like, yeah, free speech, yeah, freedom to protest, yada, yada, yada. But, the older you get, the more you mature and realize there's reasons for rules and regulations and some sort of a outline of decent civil behavior. I I would really argue to say it's pretty difficult to justify this as being civil behavior. Just a bunch of idiots out in the street in the middle of the night looting a federal car. Lawlessness, man. Insurrection Act. Bring it in, Maduro style, extract walls, 6 minutes, 30 seconds. Something needs to be done, right? Call me crazy. Let me know what you think needs to be done. Drop that down below. What do you think we should do with Minneapolis? Do you think, oh boy, just let them go, let them burn up the whole state, and all the like nice and innocent people, that are living in that town that deserve their own thing, their life and stuff to be nice there. All those people are screwed. Is that what you think? Just let them all, be terrible out there? Or are you on team insurrection? Insurrection, bring them in. I want to see Walls. I want to see Frey. I want to see Ilhan. I want to see all of their little, minions that are like second and or thirds even in command. I want to see them all brought in, investigated, held in contempt. I want them to be scared. And then maybe somebody blows the whistle. Maybe somebody turns. Maybe somebody snitches. Because I don't know about your life, but I was a bad kid. And I did 3 days in jail and stopped doing bad shit. And that kind of straightened me out, rest of my life. Never want to go back to jail again, I'll tell you that. So I generally do things like not fraudulent behavior on a felony level. I tend to not loot and steal on a felony level. And so far, that's doing good. And I don't harm anyone around my community. But that's just me. So I think they should probably all be brought in on investigative charges and maybe minimum, help for a few days, and maybe they'd think differently. But that's me. Back to the Somali case. We've got this last week here, folks. The update in the Nick Shirley, journalistic, reporting kind of situation. To be semantic, his buddy David is the one investigating the potential fraud or but 100% proven fraud of the Somali community in Minnesota for over 9 years now. And he's the one that worked with Mr. Nick Shirley, who was the reporter in this situation, I would call it, to, blow it all out, get it all viral and whatnot. So here he's following up with another long form video, and it's exposing another 16 million in fraud, which when I'm hearing all these, I don't know if they're like rumor, like just people talking numbers or some shit. But like I said earlier, man, I'm hearing upwards to $500 billion of fraud. Is that like the federal like estimated number or something? And I don't know, man. But Mr. Nick Shirley and David here are covering another freaking 16 million of fraud.
$1 million.
I'm the only community that does fraud.
How come they said this building was closed? Do you guys know where advanced mobility is? Advanced mobility? Yeah, we're looking for it. Never heard of it?
They know we're shining the light on the fraud, and they have no defense.
Would you like to see anybody in the government here held accountable?
Most definitely, because there can definitely be an allocation of funds.
The Minnesota fraud scandal continues to get worse and worse as billions of dollars of fraud has been exposed, and as I showed the world the blatant fraud taking place at daycares and other locations across Minnesota, it became the most viewed video expose on the internet and created instant change within the government as the Fed sent thousands of federal agents to Minnesota, and the HHS froze over $185 million in all payments to childcare. And while politicians like Tim Walz call people like me white supremacists and far-right delusional conspiracy theorists for exposing the fraud, meanwhile, he actually dropped out of running for re-election. The Minnesota fraud scandal has erupted the nation as protests and riots took place, all starting because daycares like Quality Learning Center were exposed. However, the daycares is only a small portion of the fraud taking place in Minnesota. In this video, I will take you into what has continued to allow this fraud to happen and connect all of the dots for you, exposing all of the fraud from strange connections of the business owners and the politicians who have openly admitted to the fraud on live TV. And to dive deep into the fraud, I met back up with the local David, who has been investigating this widespread fraud scandal for years. So here in Minnesota, you have daycare fraud.
Yeah, they got to be like on purpose not saying dude's last name. I was trying to be polite and informational and recommendational by maybe remembering this guy's last name like I very much try to do to tell everybody to go follow these people. But I think this man just wants to be the background guy, so it's just a Mr. David.
You have adult daycare fraud, you have healthcare fraud, and you even have more fraud. What's some of the fraud that's also taking place here inside of Minnesota?
Well, what I think might be sort of the heart of the beast here is this transportation fraud. And what I mean by that is in Minnesota, we have something called non-emergency medical transportation, NEMT. My research has shown that there are about 1,020 such companies in Minnesota, and more than 90% of them are Somali owned.
And so right here on the table, what do we have? All this information, right?
90% of 1,000 are Somali owned. Okay. What's the population of Minnesota overall to be Somali? Maybe that could be normal.
So I have a number of companies that are local here in the Twin Cities, and this is just a fraction of the companies that are out there. What I found was that the national average for a non-emergency medical transportation company is 20 vehicles per company. A lot of these companies, their address is an apartment, some are in a house, some are in a convenience store, some of them in a vacant building. There's no signage, there's nobody there.
And so why would there be such a need for all these transportation companies here inside of Minnesota?
So if you think of this transportation as the hub of the wheel, so childcare is a spoke, adult daycare is a spoke, autism is a spoke, the interpreter services, which we could get into, that's another spoke. It all ties back to transportation. Why? Because those meals someone had to deliver those meals, someone has to deliver the kid to autism, or say they did. So it all revolves around the transportation. And so when you're looking at this, you say, okay, well, let's just be conservative. Let's go on the low side. Let's say there are only 800 Somali-owned non-emergency medical transportation companies in Minnesota. Well, again, the average is 20 vehicles per company. So that's 800 times 20. And the way these NEMT companies are paid is if they bring someone to a doctor's appointment, whatever the case might be, or Costco or wherever they're going, because remember, it's non-emergency medical transportation. Well, we went to Costco because they have to eat or they'll die. So that's considered, right? So it's almost impossible to figure out from the outside what exactly the payments are for each of these trips. But I have a pretty good idea. So when someone provides a transportation to a facility or a location, they're also paid for the time to sit there and wait for the appointment to end and then drive the person back. So they're paid 3 different ways. And the average is going to be $50 per trip. So it's going to the appointment as a trip, coming back trip. So that's $100 per round trip. So if you have 800 companies in Minnesota that are NEMT companies.
I counted 150, but sure, 100.
They all own 20 vehicles, and they're all making 10 trips a day, and it's $50 per trip. So it's 800 times 20 times 10 trips times $50 a trip. Do the math. And the reality.
So that becomes crazy, right? Like, it's wild how numbers add up.
Is how many of these trips?
Which, if you're just listening, at 800 companies times 20 vehicles times 10 trips times $50 is $8 million a day. So I figure you said 100 just to make it round or something like that.
How many of these trips are being provided? 0. They don't have to provide any. Why? Because.
So here's the fraud, right? Like, again, use the Somalis, just stereotypically known to not be the sharpest brain, sharpest crayon in the box, right? Oh, they do legal loophole-y thingy where, hey, I'm going to do this transportation company, but then they don't follow through with doing it at all, or even like making it or something. Like, so how's this like regular ass bloke like figured this all out, right? Like, it must not be that crazy to figure this out, man. But if you're into this stuff, folks, definitely go and watch Mr. Nick Shirley on the YouTubes or the X. That's where I've seen him. But he's got this updated 51-minute video where him and Mr. David go through updates in the Somali fraud scam situation.
All right, we're going. But there is no transportation company in there. Fraud. There were no transportation companies.
No, none.
This isn't about race. This isn't against religion. This is about fraud. We're fighting fraud here. We're not fighting a race.
Well, and this is what happens when you put a spotlight on fraud. The people who are benefiting become extremely violent, and the Somalis are the most violent people I have ever met in my whole life.
Because he couldn't answer the question. Where was the transportation company?
He wouldn't answer the question. All he did was make it about race and then issue threats.
Neither business was there or operating, and giving a very conservative estimate based off of David's numbers and other numbers online, it's fair to say each business is operating with an average of 20 vehicles and with a much lower and generous rate of $25 per trip. And with 10 alleged trips a day, each business is pulling an estimate of $1.3 million in gross revenue. And with those 2 locations alone, there's over $2.6 million in estimated fraud. All right, we're going to the next location.
What's interesting,
bro, all this shit adds up, man, because I hear, like, I see on the interwebs, like, people talking shit, you know, trying to argue against it, right? Be like, oh, like, just, you know, like, dismiss it. Like, oh, it's, like, not so much money. Oh, like, oh, the federal government spent this or wasted it. Oh, the Pentagon can't find $3 trillion. Oh, like, yeah, no, like, those are all things that we could talk about on their own, but that ain't got nothing to do with, is it $100,000? Is it $5? Is it 8 million? Is it 4 million? Like, the each little bit of fraud add up. So if we could stop all these things individually, these savings would add up, and that money would come back directly to that local city or the state or the entire nation, right? Whatever layer of money they're frauding here, right? So very important in my humble opinion. So definitely make sure to, you know, share this show out, or make sure to go share that Nick Shirley on your feed and do a little part, man. Like, get the word out. And if you're a scaredy pants who doesn't like publicly letting people know what you believe in because you don't think that's important to let others know that you believe a way, so that we all see other people that believes a way, and then you could group together because you know other people believe a way. If you don't want to do that on your public social, you know, you're a little bit more shy or reserved, you know, share it privately. Like, share this out to a friend, a family member, you know, somebody that, you know, needs to see it. But, you know, be a active part here in the alt news activism of, you know, awareness, so that other people can have realization, you know, right? And also, I recommend being an active person and letting people know about your beliefs of religion too, because that is actually in the Bible. You know, like, if you're not spreading the good word, then you're not really spreading the good word. That's not helpful, right? So the other half of this post here, here's a clip of the TSA whistleblower divulging to Nick Shirley that he watched Somalis send millions of dollars in cash through the airport on a weekly basis via suitcases.
Police for 31 years. 24 of those years I worked in narcotics at MSP Airport. And my recollection was from about 2015-16 to 2021 when I retired. I would get emails from our dispatch saying like 2 male Somali descent individuals. They would give us their names. They claimed the cash, that they had a large amount of cash at the checkpoints. We'd get all this information in an email, and I believe they would send it right away. So TSA would contact our dispatch telling us this, then our dispatch would relay the info via email to us.
And how much was the money?
The money The smallest amount in a suitcase that I heard was like 750,000, but generally it was anywhere from $1 million to $6 million in a suitcase. And there usually was, as far as I can remember, there was always two individuals traveling. So you would have maybe one guy with 2.2 million and another guy with 3 million. And
at airports, you're able to take $10,000 without declaring it. How are these guys able to take millions of dollars?
Because as far as I know, as long as they declared it, they were fine. So then TSA would contact HSI and Customs, and I'm sure they got the information. We got the information. My administration knew about it, and I trust that they sent that on to higher state officials on this, but nothing was ever done the whole time I was there. I talked to one individual. We were going after narcotic cash leaving the airport. This was always fraud. We had no nexus to that this cash was related to narcotics. So our hands were kind of tied. We couldn't do a whole lot.
How do you suspect these Somalians had millions of dollars to move in an airport?
We would rack our heads all the time, like, where are they getting this? Where in the world are they getting this money? And I had heard about these daycares and whatnot, but I mean, I thought at the time, okay, maybe they had 10 daycares, but apparently they have a lot more than that. We were all...
what's wrong with the banking system, eh?
Just racking our head.
It must not know about Bitcoin and it's like immutable properties to be easily transported across borders without tyrannical governments snooping and knowing about all your money.
Just trying to figure this out.
So you openly saw just millions of dollars get moved through these airports.
I saw one time, I saw an open suitcase with the cash because we were looking into seeing if it was narcotics related, which it was not.
How much money do you think moved through the airport in your time?
Millions, literally millions and millions. I mean, we're talking for a good 5-6 years, you're talking, I don't know, 5 to 6 million a week. It would happen twice a week. You would get twice a week where there would be somebody flying, two people flying out with $1 to $2 to $3 to $4 or $5 million twice a week, every week, without fail.
And where were those people traveling to?
So this is the word I got, that they would fly to Atlanta, take a flight from Atlanta to
down to Georgia, eh? Well, we know things are a little bit fishy and fraudulent down in Georgia, right? Who was that state's attorney general again?
Dubai, and then apparently what I had heard was it was too busy or too dangerous to go any further with it, so they'd wire the money to Somalia. Whether they scraped a whole bunch off the top and did that, I don't know.
Wow, so they take the money from Minnesota, take it to Atlanta, and then take it to Dubai, and then from Dubai they then wire the money.
Correct. I don't know that for sure, but that's what I was told by other investigators.
So all the taxpayers' dollars were getting funneled through the airports and then taken to Dubai to be sent to Somalia.
Yes. Yes. It appears that's how it all went down, yes.
My Lord Almighty. It is time to hold all fraudsters accountable. We all work too hard for billions of dollars. Journalism that creates change. Thank you all for supporting and sharing. Yeah, bro. Share it out, man. God dang. That's crazy, man. So this is all the effing fraud that just goes on for decades and decades, and like nobody does anything about it, where like the important people that we think are trying to keep us safe and keep our money around are not stopping this. Like, God dang, bro. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. There's no way that somebody didn't like go up the chain on that one. Like he said, they completely knew about it and he assumed they were pushing it up the chain, and then they never happened because it never stopped. 5-6 years, dude. That's absolutely ridiculous. I wonder when that was, because then, you know, that would have been going on during a Trump admin, but just because you get a guy in president doesn't mean everything gets magically fixed, I guess, right? all about the people in between. If you did not hear about it, Mr. Trump, like I was alluding to in the beginning, has dropped the great healthcare plan. Okay, I thought he called it the American healthcare plan, but I guess it actually is going to be called the Great Healthcare Plan to end Obamacare's failures and stop funneling billions to big insurance. So, I'd say this probably is going to be a good thing, man. Call me crazy. A lot of people thought Obamacare was going to be good, and then not so much. So maybe I'll be wrong with egg on the face here, but President Trump just dropped the great healthcare plan to end Obamacare's failures and stop funneling billions in insurance. Money goes directly to the people. You get the cash to buy your own coverage. Big insurers lose, Americans win. Key wins, ends kickbacks to brokers slashing costs, locks in massive RX drug discounts. This is probably where the Trump RX stuff is like built into, right? Forces transparency, publish claims versus profit breakdowns. Hospitals / insurers on Medicare, Medicaid must post all prices prominently. The big insurance, quote from Mr. Trump, I believe, the big insurance companies lose and the people win. Government pays you directly. So this guy is totally, man, all the things that people talk crap about Donald Trump, bro, this guy's cool with straight up making a law rule to help people's where he says the big insurance companies lose. Like, bro, who else is strong enough or stable enough to not be like scared of being messed with from the insurance companies or something they're tied in with being harmed from the insurance companies? Coming out straight up and saying they're going to be harmed and the Americans win, like, yeah, hell yeah, bro. Like maybe it's time to have some consolidation in the insurance industry and maybe a little bit of get rid of some fraudulent or profiteering there. Call me crazy, right? Maybe we need a little bit of a reset there.
Today, I'm thrilled to announce my plan to lower healthcare prices for all Americans and truly make healthcare affordable again. We're doing things that nobody's ever been able to do. We're calling it the Great Healthcare Plan. Instead of putting the needs of big corporations and special interests first, our plan finally puts you first and puts more money in your pocket. The government is going to pay the money directly to you. It goes to you, and then you take the money and buy your own health care. Nobody's ever heard of that before, and that's the way it is. The big insurance companies lose, and the people of our country win. This proposal locks in the massive discounts on prescription drugs that my administration is achieving through our most favored nation drug pricing agreement. Now, when you hear about that, for 40 years they've been trying to do it, but they never were able to do it. No other president was able to do it. I got every other country to approve it by the use of tariffs and other things. They all approved it. Nobody else.
What were the other things?
Else got it. No other president got it. And for the most part, they didn't even try because they felt it was impossible. It'll bring down.
Because they probably were taken care of.
Drug prices 80, 90%. In some cases, just numbers that nobody's ever heard of before. Your prescription drugs will come way, way down. And under this policy, the prices of many drugs will be slashed by 300, 400, and even 500% starting this month at the TrumpRx.gov. So instead of Americans paying the highest drug prices in the world, which we have for decades, we will now be paying the lowest cost paid by any other nation. So any other nation that's paying the lowest cost, that's what we're going to pay. And the American people will get the savings. So I have to reiterate, the lowest price in the world is what you're going to pay. Before, you were paying the highest price in the world by far, and the politicians did nothing about it. So I'm asking Congress to complete the work that we've started. Next, my plan would reduce your insurance premiums by stopping government payoffs to big insurance companies and sending that money directly to the people. Obamacare was designed to make insurance companies rich. I call it the Unaffordable Care Act, with billions of dollars in taxpayer subsidies that helped their stock prices skyrocket over 1,000.
Very, very interesting. Let's see if that one turns out to be a good one, folks. Hopefully it benefits a lot of unhealthy and in-need Americans, because I've heard a few stories of people that were just really piss poor, and the Obamacare thing did help them. Like, maybe they would have been screwed, or it would have been a little bit less of taking care of their, like, physical ailments or whatever the hell. But I heard, like, couple, I think it was customers they were, man, a couple like real in-life stories, where they were like, oh God, no, the Obamacare thing helped me out. But I've heard a drastically different ratioed amount of people tell me that, they were doing okay to well off, and it absolutely screwed them. So definitely seems like a little bit of a heavy-handed socialism approach to the insurance system of America. So, hippy dippy, hug that tree and help everyone out, then it's good. But, if you're like a genuine nice person that wishes everybody could do well, but like, hey, I don't want to get screwed, a little bit more selfish of a life to live, I suppose, but kind of screws everybody, and then everything goes up, and then eventually those super duper broke poor people don't get helped out. So perhaps it's another situation of, immediate gratification not being good. I can't think of many or all. I think I tried hard to think of a couple, but I can't think of many at all where instant gratification is actually a good thing. It's generally always a bad thing. So I don't know, man. We'll see how the great American healthcare plan does. And, we'll check back in on things, folks. But that is all I had for us this week. So before I sign off, we got Trolley in the chat. Mr. Trolley, anything else from anybody in the live chat down below that you thought was interesting or absolutely pertinent from last week that needs a little bit more awareness? We could pull that up. Anything you think I missed, Wilkins Sane or the Trolley, Mr. Jeremy, whoever else is hanging out here? Yeah, Mr. Trolley's just talking shit about the viewership. Hey, man, I got 7 people hanging on over here on my side, dog. So, it's a late live show, like a lot of people I talk to that like the show, they, watch it later in the day tomorrow because they're passed out by the time I go live, even like before I start, I guess. Mr. Trolley'd rather his tax dollars pay for that than paying ICE agents to shoot people. So how many people have been shot by ICE, Trolley? Couldn't wait for you to bring this one. So how many people under Donald Trump's second term have been shot so far? Let's do this one. Well, shit, Trolley, even if there's 3 people, I ask if anybody else, has got anything to go over. But let's go over this one, man. I've got a interesting factoid to pull up that I was curious what you thought. So first off, how many people have been shot by ICE under Donald Trump's second presidency current? Several. Okay. So how many? Oh, I'm hitting the numbers that switch everything around. My bust. So how many people? See? Yeah, see, you are plugged in, Trolley. You knew exactly where I was going. I believe it's more than 8 under Barack Obama. Yeah, Trolley, you must not have gotten like full drunk moron tonight, huh? You're with it, bro. You had the Jake Lane, good to go, good call. You knew where I was going with this one. So what do you think about this, bro? So what? So far, all I've heard is one person got shot by ICE, currently under Trump's admin, and then one of them died, or the one person that got shot died, and that was because she was going to run him over. Was she going to kill him? Maybe not. Maybe. Was she doing something she shouldn't have done? Yes. Did he have to shoot and kill her? Maybe not. Maybe shoot her somehow to not kill her. Maybe just dodge out of the way and get harmed again. But the dude was drugged by a criminal alien and got 33 stitches in his leg. And I don't think he was messing around no more. And again, I keep repeating this. The ICE agents are used to dealing with effing dirtbag criminals. So they are trained before they even get their own, experiential muscle memory built in to react to situations like it is a police and criminal fight, right? And then you have ding-dong Karens driving 5 hours out of their way to go park in front of them and obstruct an actual investigation. I watched a video this morning of an ICE agent stop in front of the Karen and ask the lady, hey, could you please get the hell out of here? We are attempting to get a child sex predator. So why are you trying to impede that? So like the Karen is actually trying to aid the child sex predator in not being caught and arrested by ICE. So like, why are you putting yourself there, man? So she actually wasn't driving away when he shot her. She was driving into him to get away. So like, what about the situation makes you think she was trying to drive away? The part where she didn't stop and get out of the car and then answer their questions? That's the illegal part. So you admit that she was trying to get away when they had already stopped her and said, get out of the vehicle. So she's now running from the federal ICE agents. It's not like running from a city cop or even a local state sheriff boy. She's running away from the feds, right? Yeah, he didn't cause that shit, bro. You're handicapped. She parked in front of them and she started it. And then her wife is literally on camera saying, drive, baby, drive, provoking her to escape the policemen's detaining her. They 100% created the situation, bro. Unlikely that they are the most poorly trained officers. Have you seen the Minnesotans? Who lowered the bar, bro? Who lowered the bar like crazies to get psychos into ICE? You think Trump's magical admin lowered the bar and hired all these people and immediately they're out there doing stuff? Is that the conspiracy theory? You think an ICE agent is less trained than a city cop? Oh, bro, the handicap just keeps going. It's crazy. Can you even read this shit, guys? I don't think you can read this shit. Try and zoom it in. So I asked how many people have been shot in second term of Trump. According to the recent reporting, federal immigration officers, including those from the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and Customs and Border Protection, CBP, have shot 11 people during enforcement operations since September 2025, resulting in 3 deaths and 8 injuries. So where were the other 2 that got, murdered, right? Like, there's no, uproars about that? Were they, bad guys breaking the law? So they were just, less civilian than this woman who literally went and put herself in the situation? Oh, no, don't crash out, Trolley. Hang in there. You were doing good, buddy. Don't crash out. So this covers the period up to mid-January 2026, as no additional incidents have been publicly reported since. Okay, cool. So how many people were shot and or murdered by ICE during Obama's 8 years? Boop. And then sure, you could say, hey, we're comparing 8 years to 5 if you were going to simp for Obama. Let's give it a think harder. That was a little bit quick. It thought hard about that Trump one, but boy, it threw out a quick answer there for Obama. Yeah, you seem to be making up a lot of things. Yeah. Like he instigated the situation or he created the situation. That's ignorant. That's not what happened. She clearly started the situation. Had she not been there, there would have been no situation. Had she have gotten out of the car when they said, okay, now we're pissed off and you've annoyed us, get out of the effing car, she wouldn't have created the situation. Plain and simple, bro. Like, I don't know. Have you ever been pulled over by an effing cop, bro? Like, I don't know if you ever been pulled over by a cop, but I've been pulled over when I was a smart ass little hoodlum kid, and they pulled me out of the car pretty much every single time I ever was pulled over. Not very many times was I pulled over and just got a ticket and allowed to walk away. Pretty much every time I was taken out of the car, searched, and then generally arrested. Fast forward, I have reobtained my license. I'm now a, mature adult, attempting to be a functioning human in society. I've been pulled over twice. Didn't get pulled out of the car. What do you know? So I was like, yes, sir. No problem, sir. Everything was good. Gave me my ticket and warning. Bye. Get out of here. Back in the day, I was a smartass. Got pulled out of the car, and they found out that I was, carrying illegal things with me. All right. According to the reports from the ACLU and other organizations, there were 56 reported deaths, not shootings. 56 deaths in ICE custody during Barack Obama's presidency from 2009 to 2017. Where was the meltdown, bro? The wokies weren't activated yet, I guess, right? They were just like, in limbo. They were still like, leftover boomers from the hippie days or something. Gen X just checked out of everything, bro. Gen X ain't in politics. Gen X ain't in culture. All they did was work and raise families. Gen X is out of this, bro. So where were the cryings and the screamings and the freaking outs of the kids in cages during Barack Obama's presidency? Where were the freak outs and the riots for the 56 reported deaths by ICE custody agents during Barack Obama's presidency? And where in the hell was the public outcry and rage and rioting when Barack Obama became the drone civilian murderer in chief? He killed the most civilians via, collateral damage by willy-nilly throwing drones around, all overseas and whatnot, bro. So, like, where's the comparisons here? I don't understand that, bro. You think you've been pulled over way more than me, right? So how many times were you taken out of the car and beaten or shot? How did you behave? How did you behave that made it so that you weren't taken out of the car and beaten or shot? Did you behave like she did? And then, just this ICE guy was a one-off where he actually shot the lady for trying to run him over? I don't know, man. I ain't never tried to run a cop over, so I ain't never been shot and killed. Go figure, right? Specific incidents of shootings by ICE agents during this period are less comprehensive Wow. They are less comprehensively documented in public sources compared to later years. Wow. So they weren't very well documented under Obama's presidency, huh? But in 2024, analysis indicates at least one fatal shooting in 2016 as part of 23 fatal ICE shootings from 2015 to 2021, which spans the end of Barack's term and into Trump's first term. For broader federal and immigration enforcement, including CBP, which encompasses Border Patrol and is often grouped with ICE in reportings, there were approximately 32 fatal shootings by agents from 2010 to 2017, contributing to around 38 use of force deaths overall in the time frame. Wild, man. Like, who would have thought Obama's border was legit when he's also known as the deporter in chief, right? Like, where was the public outrage? Where was it? Nah, bro, it's just brain dead, brain rot, deep state propaganda, and fools like you with a open vessel of just here, fill it, I'll be whatever you want me to be, and Orange Man bad, right? So Orange Man bad, all of a sudden ICE is absurd. All of a sudden kicking people out that are illegal is absurd. All of a sudden shooting and killing a woman that was going to run over a federal police officer is absurd. However, Barack Obama's ICE murdered 56 people And then another stat of 32 people. I believe that's not even encapsulated in the 56, is it? For broader federal immigration enforcement, including CBP, there were approximately 32 fatal shootings. Yeah, bro. So that's ICE, 56, CBP, 32, for a total of 88. So 88 schmurders of ICE and Border Patrol under Barack Obama. You're a fool. If you're going to cry, baby cry, about an absolutely radicalized woman who was part of an ICE watch group, a officially organized group of people that were driving around purposefully to go obstruct federal agents. I keep emphasizing federal because it's like far more important than like, you know, city and state, right? So the federal police, even if you disagree with it, require, that she was not the deserve word, they require higher levels of respect and obedience, right? They're federal agents, right? So 88 murders under Barack Obama, and we've got 3 so far in the second term of Trump. One of them popularized and utilized as, you know, a weapon against the Trump administration and used as a fool's errand for the radical ignorant left, where you seem to hang out a lot, bro. It's like you want to be on our side, but something in you just, you know, it's like, just you can't let it go, bro. You can't just be like, damn, bro, I was hanging out with the wrong people. You know what? This place is better here at TrutherCast Live on the Monday night, bro, where we're spitting hot facts and breaking down the truths. So make sure that if you didn't already, hit that thumbs up button, man. Thank you so very much for everybody that has already. And make sure to share this show out to a friend, a family, or maybe a trolly troll like the troll himself. We got the TrutherCast troll, folks. Nowhere else. One and only. And man, Trolly, for your mental state, I hope to God we never get a troll in here that out trolls you. I would be devastated. But I just want you to know, if that is to happen this year of 2026, when we are going to double the viewership and the subscription base, I just want you to know, bro, I'm never going to forget you. You're always going to be the first TrutherCast troll around here, bro. You will get special treatment. Just want you to know, bro. Just want you to know. What's my follow-up question? Okay, so I have a dumb person in my live chat that thinks ICE is less trained than a local police or state police. Is he correct? How about we word it like that? What do you think? What do you think? Man, you be saying that about me, but you be coming over here just repeating headlines all the time, and you don't even know the details of the situation. I'm over here doing lazy man citizen journalism, and I at least can spit all the informational facts and explanations and details of a situation. You come over here like headline. I got the headline. It says an orange man bad headline, so I'm going to repeat it. Seems like you're a little bit slurpy on that deep state mainstream propaganda, bro. Man, not good, bro. Less of that and more vitamin D3. I don't know if you knew this, but they lied. You got to take a lot more vitamin D3 than you think, man. All right, so Grok's thinking hard over here on this one. Okay. Dang, bro. Man, Grok must be totally skewed and lying. Grok must be taken over by the orange man himself. Grok must be a little bit biased because Grok says no, troll. No to the trolley. No troll. No troll toll here, folks. He says, no, that's not accurate. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, many people call it. Many people call it ICE. It's a lot easier to say. ICE agents undergo training that's comparable in length and rigor to that of local and state police officers, though it's tailored to federal immigration and criminal enforcement rather than general community policing. Here's a breakdown based on official requirements. So, bruh, if anything, it's the same shit. It's the same shit, bro. If you're going to be a law official, if you're going to be a policeman, you know, local city, you know, the county sheriff, and then the state or the fed, it's all based on the same shit, fam. You got to have like some kind of a, you know, unified guideline system, or people don't want to just, you know, like reinvent the wheel, bro. So then you just probably add on more complicated teachings the higher you go. So like, I don't know, bro. Like, am I just so logical that like, I don't understand how you could even like think that? Like, you have to be absolutely brain dead and not understand how logic works to be like, the higher up official is got to be dumber than the lower official. Like, right? Like it just increments in severity of training programs the higher you go up, bruh. Like, absolutely ridiculous. Insane. Also, red herring, you got there. Your red herring showing, troll. Homeland Security investigations, special agents, blah, 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 goes through a bunch of details. You know, you get the shtick here. You know, trolls like just being a troll here, folks. But anything else useful, Trolley? Before we sign off here today, man, you know, anything else? Anybody in the live chat got anything else? I'm out of last week juice. The Trump RX, we're waiting. It's coming. Oh, damn, they're dropping it. Okay, they are dropping it this month. So, yeah, we were waiting for that great American healthcare. That's what we were waiting for, I bet, because the Trump RX is the big part of that, right? Anybody else got anything left over? Mr. Troll's kind of crashing out over here. It's all good, bro. It's all good. Obama's ICE killed 88 people, which is a lot more bigger than 3. So that's all I got, folks. Thank you so very much for showing up here tonight. If you want to help keep the lights on, man, check out that signup.toleratech.com. If you got a computer and you're sick of it pissing you off, and you would like a like-minded tech guy like me, myself, Scott, the tech guy, who is going to help you out with your computer. Signup.toleratech.com. It's got the deets so on there and yada, yada, yada. Keeps the lights on because the show's sponsored by me and my company. So I'd love to help you out with your stupid computer problems, but I'd like to help it, you know, stay secure and, you know, run well. And then, you know, you can hit on that red join button that's a little bit down below this .com here. Hit that join button and you can join the locals community for free. It will try to edge you into paying money if you would like. That helps keep the lights on. Just sign up for the Truther Tribers Primo Squad. Save even more money if you don't want to pay the regular cheap full price using the promo code BETTERNEWSFEED. But you can join for free and then follow around and watch the views throughout the week of posted nonsense, right, that we cover here on the live show. But all you really got to do if you want to help out, folks, is just to make sure to not be the hoe and share this show, man. So share it out to somebody that you know, and that would help out, you know, make you look good and help grow the subscription system, maybe. You know, so share it out so people know that you know good stuff, right? I'm shocked that Trolley doesn't share this out to people, or when you share it out to people, do they go, oh, I couldn't possibly handle any of that because I'm a bigoted extreme leftist. And there's no way I could even handle considering listening to an alternative viewpoint. So once again, Trolley, kudos to you showing up almost every week, man. You got pretty good attendance. I mean, this 2026, it wasn't so great, but, you know, it's early, so you can still make up for it. But, you know, kudos to you for at least being able to listen to opposing ideas and thoughts that seem to somehow completely obfuscate your comprehension. You know, good on you, brother, man. But thank you, everybody, for hanging out here at the TrutherCast. We shall see ya next week. And we only got a one tonight, no Dano. So, you know, I guess, you know, there's something else that happens at the end of the show or something like that. Like, all right.